Post-match chat is live. The first T20 international took place today between South Africa and Pakistan. And Pakistan won the match. They won by 4 wickets. It was their highest ever run chase in T20 cricket. 188 was scored by South Africa. Pakistan chased it down with just 1 ball to spare. It looked like it should have been a little bit more comfortable. It got very rocky, very uncomfortable, but they got there in the end. To break it all down, we're here. My name is Aatif Nawaz. Alongside me, Anam Nadeem, Armaan Kirmani, and Asif Arif, all in the house, and we're all going to talk about the match today. So before we kick it all off, I'm going to ask everybody about your favorite players and your favorite moments of the match and the least favorite moments of the match. I just full disclosure, I had to watch 2 games today: the IPL match and the Pakistan match. The IPL match. If you want to know about that, there's another video on post match chat where you can watch our rundown on that match as well. With one of the great guys from Yari Sports. So let's get into it. Anam Nadeem, Pakistan, they won the match. Who was your good guy? Who was the good guy? Who was the man of the match? Who was the star player for you?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, it has to be Mohammad Rizwan. एक पर्पल पैच है इस बंदे का जो चली आ रहा है. ODIs में ही failed to deliver, लेकिन T20s में consistently. और साउथ अफ्रीका तो उसको कुछ खास ही पसंद है ना. साउथ अफ्रीका के अगेंस्ट 100 भी मारा, आज भी स्कोर कर लिया, एक 50 भी मारी हुई है. तो बस इस बंदे को कोई रोक नहीं सकता. मारी जा रहा है, मारी जा रहा है. And if it was not for Rizwan's anchoring innings, anchoring role, तो शायद हम लोग आज ये मैच जीत ना पाते. और आप ये मत बोलते कि हमने highest run chase कर लिया. So yeah, kudos to Rizwan.
Brilliant, yeah, great innings. 74 runs off 50 balls, 148 strike rate. Superb. Back in his opening spot, feeling comfortable clearly. And over that little mini scare that we had from him in the ODI series where he didn't seem to be very comfortable. Armaan Kirmani, back again, looking sharp in the Ultimate Warriors cricket shirt. Tell me, who was the good guy for you?
यार जब आपने फुल डिस्क्लोजर कर दिया तो मैं भी कर दूं कि मेरे भी आज 2 मैच थे. आप जैसे 2 कर रहे थे, मैं अपना मैच भी खेल रहा था और मैं क्विकली चेक स्कोर भी कर रहा था और फोन पे भी देख रहा था मिड इनिंग्स में, जो करना नहीं चाहिए, लेकिन यू नो व्हाट, दिल दिल पाकिस्तान. तो मैं कहूंगा कि यू नो माय प्ले वाज व्हाट मोमेंट ऑफ द डे, प्लेयर ऑफ द डे, व्हिच प्लेयर, the good player for me, the good cop for me is Mohammad Nawaz opening the bowling spin, taking 2 wickets. You know what? He is the world's best all-rounder in all formats right now. Love him.
Yeah, I mean, can't argue with that. Mohammad Rizwan was fantastic today. Great return as well. 4 overs, 2 for 21, with an economy of 5.25, which is comfortably the best of the Pakistani bowlers. Everybody else went for at least 7 and over. Hassan Ali was strong too, 2 for 28 from his 4 overs. But yeah, very impressive, Mohammad Nawaz. Great to see him back in Pakistan colours. Arif, tell me, mate. You tell me, the good guy.
Well, considering my first 2 options are taken, which would have been Rizwan and then Nawaz, I'm going to have to go with Fahim Ashraf. I think his innings at the end was the difference between the 2 teams. And you know what? He, over the last few months and years, he's really come on. So well done to him, and it's good to see Pakistan have a solid all-rounder for once.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was superb from him, particularly towards the end. That little patch, it could have gone either way, but that little cameo from Fahim Ashraf, 30 from 14 deliveries, was very, very crucial. You talk about having a high impact in short spaces. He did just that. My good guy, I feel like you guys have taken the obvious ones, but I got to show the South Africans some love. For me, it's got to be Henrik Klaasen, acting captain. 50 from 28 balls, 4 sixes, beautiful sixes as well. It's got to be Henrik Klaasen. If I'm South Africa, I feel like I've missed a chance here. Like, this was my best shot. To beat this Pakistan team, who okay, are overwhelming favorites, have their first choice team available to them. South Africa don't have their first choice team available to them. Obviously, most of them are kind of in India in quarantine waiting to play. But they had this opportunity, 188. They couldn't quite get there. Bad guy. Who are you going to single out for negative performance? By the way, we've got to do this as well. We like the Oscars, we like the Razzies. Anam Nadeem, who was the bad guy?
ज़्यादा collectively बोल सकते हैं कुछ, या एक बंदे को point out करना है? मेरे लिए collectively कुछ था bad guy.
No problem.
पाकिस्तान की टीम मैनेजमेंट जो है ना, मेरे लिए वो आज bad guy. साबित हुई है, और वो इस वजह से कि मुझे लगता है कि प्लेइंग 11 जो है वो ठीक नहीं थी और उसके बाद बैटिंग ऑर्डर जो था ना उसके अंदर भी मसला था. तो
tell me why. What was wrong with it?
Okay,
What would you do?
अच्छा, आप मुझे टाइम दे रहे हैं ये बात करने के लिए?
भाई
अच्छा,
एक मिनट पिक करो, उसके बाद हमें भी पिक करना है, हर चीज बोल दोगी तो आप क्या
Exactly.
इस पे मैनेजमेंट पे थोड़ा सा बात करना पड़ेगा ना. Like tell me,
हाँ,
what
ठीक है, मैं
is wrong
बताती
with this
हूँ
team?
क्यों. ओके, आसिफ अली को आज खेलना चाहिए था. आज मतलब ऑफ ऑल मैचेस आज T20s में, हमने ODIs में भी ये बात की थी कि आसिफ अली की जगह T20s में बनती है. सो आसिफ अली वाज मिसिंग. एंड देन बैटिंग ऑर्डर में आई फील फखर शुड हैव ओपनड विद रिजवान, बाबर शुड हैव कम वन डाउन. एंड उसके बाद नीचे भी आपने देखा कि नवाज को उन्होंने फहीम से ऊपर भेज दिया. तो आई थिंक फहीम अशरफ की जगह बनती थी, उसको ऊपर भेजते, नवाज को बाद में रखते. Even Hassan Ali, for that matter, should have like batted earlier than Nawaz, for me at least. So I feel यहाँ पे कुछ management ने tricks जो हैं वो miss किए हैं. I don't know who to blame. The captain is to blame for this, or the coaching staff is to blame for this. But I think they need to come sharper in the next game in terms of selection.
I mean, it's a fair point. A lot of people have critiqued that Pakistani lineup. Like, Fakhr at number 3 always looks a bit jarring. But I understand they didn't want to break that opening stand necessarily. I mean, who knows, really? Let me get some thoughts, actually, on this. Armaan, what do you make of that? Do you agree? Do you think, that lineup could have been a little bit different based on the players selected?
So I'll say Babar is my bad guy for the day. And because the responsibility lies with the captain. और एक चीज मैं ये भी बोलूंगा कि जब साउथ अफ्रीका भी पाकिस्तान आई थी T20s खेलने के लिए, which we won 2-1, Babar was struggling against the spin. So when he was struggling, he then dropped himself down to number 4 in the batting lineup. You're 3 or 4. I think it was 4 even, because he wanted to negate the spin or whatever it was, whatever his logic. He basically went down the order. ठीक है ना? अब ये साउथ अफ्रीका ट्रैवल कर चुके हैं और वहां पे he's obviously scored some runs earlier on, and we've seen in the ODIs. So now he's taken his place back at the top because now he's feeling more confident because he's getting more runs. Problem is, you've taken a bona fide T20 opener who has just scored one of the most unbelievable one-day innings. We know he's got a massive strike. We've seen him play in the PSL. तो उस बंदे की जगह जो है आपने खा लिया as captain, and your responsibility as captain, as far as I'm concerned, is to bring the best combination and make sure the best runs can be made by Pakistan. We maximize the utility. So whether it was the selectors or whether it was him who did the batting order, I think the responsibility has to go in there because he has already shown that he had the ability to change the batting order in Pakistan. So now he has to take the blame here with Fakhr as well. And why they're not picking Sharjeel? Why have you taken him to South Africa, brought him back? One of the best strike rates, a great like you, yaar. I don't understand, why did you make him travel to sit on the bench when you've only got these 4 games? The whole point is to bring him back and see what he can do, and he's had a great PSL. So ये nonsense है. This is nonsense.
So
उसकी फिटनेस पे काम करने के लिए उसको साथ लेके गए ताकि वहां पे बैठ के उसकी फिटनेस मॉनिटर कर सकें.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen,
they could monitor what he's eating more like.
A lot of people will agree with you, Armaan. A lot of people did bemoan the absence of Sharjeel, particularly on Twitter. I'll be honest, I wasn't one of them. I was quite happy with the lineup the way it was. I think I try and find a space for Sarfraz in the lineup before I would look at Sharjeel. Like, Sharjeel is an opening batsman, right? He's an opening player. You either play him in an opening spot or you don't. I understand Pakistan wanting to stay with Babar and Rizwan at the top, and but again, I see the opposite side of it. In the modern game, everybody talks about the modern game. Sharjeel and Fakhr opening. It's very hard to argue with that. The only thing you have to argue with that is you've got like this track record of these 2 opening players, Rizwan and Babar, who Babar, as Armaan says, back in form. So and he's our best batsman for me, so he should play the majority of it. Like in Chalo, that can go in every which direction. Completely respect that point from Armaan. Arif, tell me, bro, who was your bad guy?
So obviously, I agree with Armaan and Anam and a bit with yourself as well. I don't often agree with everyone, and I think the bad guys in a performance I wasn't sort of I was disappointed by was Usman Qadir. I just wanted him to do better. And I was a little disappointed that he actually got a little thumped, and that sort of put the pressure on Pakistan at that time when he came onto ball. So yeah, for me, the bad guy has got to be Usman Qadir today, and I'll be surprised if he's included in the next game.
Yeah, he got a haircut as well, Usman Qadir, before this game. It's a very unpopular choice. Everybody seemed to be enjoying Qadir's hair. A bit of Shahid Afridi's level is Shahid Afridi's level. But that conversation was happening about the ball. Like, Armaan, do you think the secret of his was in his hair?
What, like Samson?
Yeah, exactly. Like Samson.
अब देखो नए नए हेयर स्टाइल ये लोग ट्राई कर रहे हैं, कुछ भी करें यार. अभी हमने देखा था वो डेल स्टेन के बालों पे कमेंट कर दिया था, तो पता नहीं वो एलजीबीटी राइट्स अपने वो मतलब क्या इंक्लूड करना चाह रहा था, मतलब क्या. तो यहाँ बड़े सेंसिटिव लोग हैं यार. ये जो नई जनरेशन है, मैं क्या बोलूं, आई फील ओल्ड. मैं इतना ओल्ड नहीं हूं, लेकिन जो नए जनरेशन के बच्चे हैं यार, कुछ भी कर लो अपने बाल से, खुदा के लिए विकटें ले लो यार, बस इतना है. खेल रहे हो उस्मान कादिर, तुम्हें चांस मिल रहा है. जब जाहिद महमूद बैठा हुआ है, वाइस कैप्टन आपका कभी भी वापस आ सकता है, मोहम्मद नवाज है, 3 स्पिनर्स हैं. खुदा के लिए अपनी अपॉर्चुनिटी ले लो यार. यू आर वर्ल्ड क्लास, लेकिन खुदा के लिए बाल काटो, कुछ भी करो, टैटूज लगाओ, जो भी करना है करो. जस्ट टेक सम विकेट्स प्लीज.
Take some wickets, please, is a great motto. I feel like you want to say something about Qadir's hair.
हाँ, कादिर, मुझे लगता है उसको बाल नहीं काटने चाहिए थे. और जो उसने पहले जो उसकी लुक थी, अच्छा, आई डोंट नो इफ यू फॉलोड दिस, ट्विटर पे एक मीम आज चल रही थी जिसमें दे कंपेयर्ड हिम टू अंजलि फ्रॉम कुछ कुछ होता है, और उसमें इमाद वसीम का भी एक दफा था, ठीक है. और आज उस्मान कादिर ने जो किया, उसके बाद उसको राधे, जो सलमान खान की फिल्म थी तेरे नाम, उसका जो राधे है वो बना दिया आफ्टर द हेयर कट. सो या आई वाज डिसअपॉइंटेड इन उस्मान कादिर's choice of haircut. Clearly.
Yeah, I'm trying to do this very respectable, serious journalism show, and I'm starting a comment with, मुझे लगता है उस्मान कादिर को बाल बिल्कुल नहीं कटवाने चाहिए थे, जिससे कि मुझे उसको.
After what Anam said, all I can think about is Usman Qadir saying, लेकिन आपको पता है मुझे गूगली और फ्लिपर का कितना शौक है.
Well, to put it all into context, Usman Qadir went for 38 in his 3 overs, very expensive, the most of the Pakistani bowlers. Haris Rauf close behind him, 3 for 37 of 12.33 overs. My bad, guy. I mean, I feel bad because I looked at a lot of the South African players, and they could have done more. I'm going to put it on Pelequeo, Andile Pelequeo. He bowled 2 overs for 21, which isn't that bad compared to some of the other bowlers in the lineup. But he bowled 2 overs. Like, he's now in this South African team, a senior player. I wanted to see him, take a bigger, more informed role. He got 9 runs not out at the end. Okay, 9 of 5. He had a chance at the end to really keep the pressure on the Pakistanis, pushed that score even higher. Obviously, there were some big blows, off Shaheen in that last over. And I was tempted to go with Shaheen. Shaheen's been so unbelievably consistent for Pakistan. Of late, his form has dipped a bit, which is worrying. I'm going to go with Pelequeo. I just think he could have done more for his team. He kind of needs to step up. As I say, this was their best shot. So chalo, haircuts ho gaye, good guys ho gaye, bad guys ho gaye. Let's talk about the moments of the match. Let's start with you, Anam Nadeem. What was your moment of the match?
फखर जमान ने तबरेज शम्सी को पहले छक्का मारा, उसके बाद अगली बॉल पे उसने उसको डिसमिस किया, और उसके बाद ही ब्रॉड आउट हिज शू फोन कॉल सेलिब्रेशन. ठीक है, I absolutely love this guy for what he does with his celebrations. वो कभी magic hats निकाल के tricks करता है, कभी ये phone call वाली वो celebration करता है. So that was clearly my moment of the day, especially after being hit in that second ODI, जो फखर ने उसको dismantle किया था. 4 छक्के भी मारे थे एक ही ओवर में, 3 थे या 4 थे, अब I don't remember exactly. लेकिन उसके बाद he redeemed himself आज वाले मैच में, took 2 wickets, 29 runs. So this was really good to see. Twitter पे, although on the other hand, इस सेलिब्रेशन को काफी बैकलैश आया है. आई थिंक काफी लोगों ने शायद पहली दफा ये सेलिब्रेशन देखी है करते हुए. शम्सी हैज बीन डूइंग दिस फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम, एंड उसका मोटो इसके पीछे ये है, इफ आई कैन ऐड, कि वो कॉल मिलाता है, एंड स्पेशली वो इमरान ताहिर को कॉल मिलाता है, क्योंकि उसको लगता है कि इमरान ताहिर जो है वो उसका वो है, ही फॉलोज हिम रिलीजियसली एंड ऑल दैट. और वो उसको इमरान ताहिर को वो कॉल इस तरह से मिला के वो बात करता है कि हाँ जी मैंने आउट कर लिया. सो आई डोंट नो, आई सी द फनियर साइड ऑफ इट. आई डोंट नो, बहुत से लोगों ने उसको बेचारे को बड़े उसकी दी है कि यार तुमने ये सेलिब्रेशन क्यों किया है, या बहुत क्रिंज सेलिब्रेशन थी, बट आई एब्सोल्युटली एंजॉयड इट.
हाँ यार, कौन इसको क्रिंज समझ सकता है? That's a great celebration. Imagine calling up somebody every time to say, हाँ ताहिर भाई एक और ले लिया है मैंने. I think that's great. It's a lovely a nice moment to pick out as well. The British Shamsi versus Fakhar Zaman was such a fun battle in the one-day series. It's nice to see it continuing as it goes on. Armaan Kirmani, what was your moment of the match?
My moment of the match was just after the match. as soon as Pakistan won the match, Misbah Haq has put out a tweet congratulating the fact that Pakistan have chased the highest ever score in T20. Of course, he's coach right now under a little bit of pressure. So the fact that he had to highlight, okay, we've done a world record chase for Pakistani history. I mean, that was quite entertaining. But then he said, and by the way, guys, don't forget to pay your zakat. And I thought that was perfect, like the way he is bringing in the reminder to all of us as Muslims, or those that are Muslim will be practicing, that just when Pakistan break the world record, do not forget Deen, and the holy month of Ramadan is upon us, and your duty is to pay zakat. And you know what? This is Pakistani cricket at its best, when you mix culture with cricket. Subhanallah.
Oh, the Inzamam ul Haq era is back. I love it. Don't forget to pay your zakat. Listen, I don't mean to
and
laugh.
give the link
It's just,
yourself.
yeah, with the link as well. There you go. I mean, the link is there if you want to find it on Twitter. It's there. It's brilliant. It's just gold. These guys are on top form today. Tell me, bro, what was your moment of the match?
Yeah, so my moment of the match is I think one of the South African bowlers was on a hat trick, and Fahim Ashraf came in, and he just like with no efforts at all, just kind of just whacked it for four, and to me that was a sign of a confident player, and someone who has rightly got that number. Was it number 6? He's made it his own, hasn't he now? And I think my moment of the match would have been what Anam was on about. With Fahad and Shamsi, but I'm not a fan of his celebration at all. I just think get on with it, stop messing about. You've come to play cricket, you're getting paid to do it, type of thing. Call me traditional, but that's what I think. And I think there was a part in one of the wickets where somebody hit his shoe, and to me, I know some of the commentators were laughing, but to me that was just ridiculous. Like, you've come to play cricket, and he's celebrated a wicket. He's jumping up and down, and all of a sudden, he's crying, looking for his shoe. And I'm like, and then there's a camera shot on. I think it's the wicketkeeper who's walking off with his shoe under his shirt. What is that about? That's something you hear Pakistan do, not South Africa.
जूते छुपाई किस तरह थे?
I can't believe it. I didn't think it could be top. I thought Anam had won, and then Armaan, and then I tops it all with the juta chupai. That's absolutely extraordinary.
It's like he's getting married or something. It's just crazy. What's going on? Like, what they're gonna do next? Like, dudh pilai you something.
Best show. I love this already. I don't even know what to say after that. My moment of the match is going to be so bland by comparison. But it's going to be that last over of the match, where it was very much in the balance. And it was the two that they took just before the penultimate ball where they got the 3-2 in the match. But it was the two. The two is what made the game safe for Pakistan. That two was just so valuable. The way they crossed over, that sense of relief. Like, I can imagine people all over Pakistan, exhaled at the same time because finally they could breathe again. They got that win. I got to tell you, like, only Pakistan can make these matches that exciting. In the IPL today, same thing happened. 188 scored by the first team, exact same score, but they chased it with ease, with 5 balls to spare, 18 balls to spare, sorry, and 7 wickets in hand. Pakistan are like, no, we don't do comfortable. We're going to take this to the wire. 1 ball to spare. Everybody's going to keep guessing. The odds are going to go one way, then the other way. Hum win viz ko tod ke rahenge. I love it. It was beautiful. Really, really good stuff. So Pakistan have taken a 1-0 lead. Loads of incidents happening in the match. Moving on to the next match, right? And along with your prediction for the next match, I want to hear some ideas on what you'd like to see, particularly from you, Anna, because you specifically singled out management and team selection in your critique. So what would you like to see differently? Would you like to see Sharjeel come in? Would you like to see a rejigged order? You want to see Babar come down? You want to see Rizwan? What do you want to see, Anna? Tell me and give me a prediction as well, please.
Okay, prediction. I think Pakistan will win the next match as well. पहले पाकिस्तान के लिए मुझे लगता है कि एक तो आसिफ अली को इंक्लूड करने की जरूरत है और कहाँ खेलेगा ये एक और सवाल है. मतलब they can't leave out Rizwan, Nawaz, and then they need Usman Qadir as well. तो फिर वो भी एक मसला है कि उसको खिलाना कहाँ है. So I am not sure कि आसिफ अली को डालेंगे तो किसकी जगह डालेंगे. But they need to figure this out. I am not the management. They are the management. They need to figure this out कि आसिफ की जरूरत है हमें टीम में तो उसको कहाँ डालना है. और दूसरा, आज मुझे लगता है अंडर यूटिलाइज भी किया. हफीज से बॉलिंग नहीं करवाई. जबकि अगर एक पॉइंट था जहाँ पे मुझे लगता है लेफ्ट हैंडर्स थे तो हफीज को एक ओवर चलो ट्राई कर लेते, शायद हफीज भी कुछ बीच में कर लेता, वहां पे भी दे मिस्ड आउट. सो ये 2-3 चीजें हैं जहाँ पे मुझे लगता है थोड़ा शार्प करने की जरूरत है. आई नो वी एंजॉय दीज लास्ट बॉल विंस के, बड़ा एक्साइटिंग हो जाता है, लेकिन जस्ट फॉर वंस एक मतलब अच्छी कन्विंसिंग जीत जो है ना उसकी जरूरत है हमें. I'd love to see that as well. And as far as South Africa is concerned, their fielding was pathetic. Catches drop कर रहे हैं, misfields कर रहे हैं, runouts नहीं हो रहे हैं. Rizwan was dropped on one. पहले ओवर में Rizwan cotton ball मतलब हो सकता था, इतना मुश्किल चांस नहीं था. He was dropped on one. तो मुझे लगता है South Africa need to tighten up their fielding वाली side as well और death bowling as well. दोनों side पे बैटिंग में they missed out. आखिरी वही, even you pointed this out. So वो I think वो cover up कर सकते हैं, लेकिन bowling और फील्डिंग दोनों को उनको बेहतर करने की जरूरत है.
It's a big challenge if you go back to bringing Asif Ali back into the side. Like, who do you leave out? The only obvious person to leave out is Heather Ali, and surely you don't want to drop him as well. I mean, I don't know. It's a very difficult choice to make. Osman Ghadir may be feeling a little bit of heat, but I think they'll persist with him. I don't think they're going to shuffle him personally. I don't think they're going to shuffle him. Armaan, what do you think? Anam says they should move comfortably to 2-0. What do you think 2-0? And what do you think about the team?
देखो भाई, T20 जो गेम है ना, इट इज अबाउट स्ट्राइक रेट्स. तो मैं तो चाहता हूँ, मेरी दिली ख्वाहिश है आसिफ अली भी खेले. मैं चाहता हूँ हसन अली जो है वो ऊपर आके एज अ पिंच हिटर खेले. व्हाट कैन गो रॉन्ग? लाइक ही स्कोर्स इन एवरी गेम व्हेन यू नीड इट. ही हैज गॉट लाइक, व्हाट वाज इट वी सेड इन द ODIs, 40% of his runs, even in ODIs or in international cricket or even first class cricket, have been scored in sixes or something, some stat like that. Maybe I've got that slightly wrong, but we mentioned it on the last show. So why is he batting at 9 and 10 if he's got that ability? He scored 100 domestically in first class game, or which is a 4-day game. So this guy can bat. Don't waste him at 9. If you need people with high strike rates, please utilize them. Asif Ali has got the highest strike rate and I think balls per sixes in the PSL or in that we saw in the last edition, or maybe over the whole edition. So these guys know how to hit sixes. So I want these players to bat higher. I love Babar. He is like a blessing to Pakistan. But we need to go for this World Cup, and we have to have our strike rates high. So those are the changes. I want to see Sharjeel, I want to see Fakhr, I want to see Hassan Ali, and I want to see Asif Ali. These four have to be in our team, and we want to test them out. If they all four can't play, दो तो खिला लो यार, कुछ तो करो. मतलब कि modern cricket या कुछ भी हो भाई, छक्के मारने पड़ेंगे. तो I want these guys.
Well,
I know 4-0, so of course Pakistan win the next game.
of course. Just on the Hafiz thing as well, and before I forget, I just remembered he's not bowled apparently in his last 11 international appearances for Pakistan. So 11 matches in a row, he's not bowled. मुझे feel हो रहा है, like this is not confirmed, it's complete conjecture. लेकिन मुझे feel हो रहा है they're worried about the action. Like there's some kind of worry about, he's been reported previously for his action. There's a worry that might happen again. They don't really want to use him unless they absolutely have to. Otherwise, why wouldn't they? You know, Hafiz used to open the bowling for Pakistan at one stage in 2020. But see, I mean, it's just a point to throw out there. Anybody watching, by the way, if you have an insight on this, please put it in the comments and let us know what you think. And just before we wrap things up, Arif, tell us, bro, who is winning the next match and any major changes you'd make, or even minor changes.
So I know we're discussing changes and everything. For me, I think Pakistan are in a position which they don't often find themselves. They've actually, normally they're scraping. The reason why the middle order is collapsing or the opener is not working is because the players aren't good enough. But for the first time in a long time, the sort of debate now is, well, like Armaan says, we now have the players. The problem now is what Anam has said, is I don't think the management know where they all fit in and what their best 11 is, and because South Africa are a weak side, I'd like to see a bit more experimenting here. I'd like Armaan says, put Hassan Ali up, get Sharjeel in, see what they're doing, because we should be winning these games. The South African team isn't the best. We were expected to win this 4-0, and I know England and India were criticised for not experimenting enough, considering the World Cup's coming up. And I think for me, the management really needs to look at that. Why have you brought Sharjeel if you don't want to test him in an international game? See what he can do, then decide whether you want to take him to the next tour or not. Because what they'll most likely do is not play him and then drop him anyway. So what's the point of that? But yeah, a lot to think about for the Pakistani management. And I think for me, Pakistan win every game unless they do something really stupid here. It's a 4-0 series.
Yeah, I think I feel a lot of that love for Sharjeel. I don't think they're going to play him unless they go 3-0 up. And then they really feel comfortable experimenting. I think first they want to secure the win. Maybe after they go 2-0 up, they start experimenting a little bit more. But I agree with all of you in principle, in various parts of everything you're saying. In terms of what I would change, I would tell Nokia and Quinton de Kock and Faf du Plessis and Ngidi and Rabada, what the hell are you doing? Leave India right now. Come back to your home country and play for your national team. There's nothing wrong with the IPL. I've got no issue with the IPL. I know a lot of people don't watch
डिविलियर्स को
it.
भी बुलाएं, डिविलियर्स को भी बुलाएं.
Yeah,
और
De
हाँ,
Villiers hit
सबसे
48
पहले
today or
AB
something.
de Villiers, सबसे पहले, he was great today, AB de Villiers, but no good. What's the point? What's the point? Where playing your cricket, bro? You need to play for your country, represent your country. AB de Villiers is way too good a player to be retired from international T20 cricket. He needs to come back and play for his country and give them a chance and give the series a little bit more competition. That's the big changes I would make. I'd call them all back. No disrespect to the IPL. Like, I understand they're playing their cricket there. It's very high standard. They don't let the Pakistanis play, but hopefully that'll sort itself out in the future. But yeah, I think I'd like to see a little bit more country over club. But apart from that, Pakistan, I think, will win 3-1, by the way. I think they will lose one game. I don't know which one, but I'm sure they'll drop at least one game on this tour. So that being said, on that very lovely note, it's been fun, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Everybody who's watching, you know what to do. Please subscribe, comment, and share, and every other thing. And specifically, I'd like you all to answer this question for me. Would you play Sharjeel in any of these games? And if you would, where would you put him? Put that in the comments, and we'll try and reply to some selected comments as well if we get a chance. Next game is on Monday. We'll be back on Monday with another post-match chat. But until then, post-match chat is done.